It's a good thing you were too wired to sleep, Luis.
I don't mind filling in for Sam tonight, Hank. Not with everything that's going on at Charity's house.
Yeah, I wish Miguel would call and let us know whether they got Charity and her mom out of that fire.
When Sam called and said the fire was out of control.
I still find it hard to believe my brother Sam is the chief of police.
Well, you were the one who was always getting in trouble with the cops, not Sam.
Yeah, it's pretty weird being in this place again. Remember all those times I got hauled in here for pulling some prank?
Yeah, you were pretty wild as a kid. Weren't we all?
Yeah, I guess we were. Wow. You have a file on Sheridan Crane like she's a common criminal?
Well, she's no different from anyone else who breaks the law. Problem is, she and the rest of her family think they're above the law.
Who's there? Sheridan? Oh my God, what happened?
What have I done? What have I done?
I was watching the fire on TV. Did you see Miguel run to the house?
We saw Jessica. I can't believe he'd do that. Charity's whole house is in flames.
You guys, be quiet. I can't hear. Why doesn't he come out? He'll die if anything happens to Miguel. He's risking his life for Charity. She obviously means everything to him.
Jessica, either shut up or get out.
You get out, Kate. This is my room now, remember? You said you were moving into the sewing room, and the sooner, the better.
Jessica, I'm warning
Hey,
you.
Jessica, will you stop it? Your aunt and your cousin could be dead.
Somebody's coming out.
Charity. Miguel, is Charity dead?
I don't know. I pray to God she's not.
Miguel, are you all right?
I'm okay. Take care of Charity. Don't let her die, Dr. Russell.
Charity? Charity, can you hear me?
Tell me my niece is gonna live.
I'm gonna need some more tea.
Got it.
I would hold the hand of the one who could lead me places and kiss the lips of the one who could sing so sweet. And I would fly on the wings of the bird I knew could take me highest. Breathe in, breathe out. You keep me alive. You are the fire burning inside of me. You are my passion for life.
Ethan, why am I here? How did I get here?
You don't know?
The last thing I remember was being in the cottage, and I finally fell asleep.
You must have been sleepwalking.
I had terrible dreams.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Can't anyone forgive me?
I was drawn back to this spot
Shh. Hey, relax. Drink your brandy.
where you found me just now on the floor. That's where the coffin stood all those years ago, remember?
I remember the coffin. We were both so young, Sheridan.
Tell me what you remember.
Well, I remember hearing shouts the night they found you standing by the coffin in this room. And they warned me never to say anything about it to anybody.
You must have been so frightened, so confused.
All I knew is that you were my aunt and I loved you. It upset me to see you so distraught.
I know.
The next day you were gone. It was years before I saw you again. I didn't know anything about the body in the coffin until you told me years later that it was your fault.
Yes,
You're so vague. You refused to tell me anymore.
I wanted to protect you.
I want to help you. And won't you tell me what happened that night?
I think you're too hard on Sheridan. She's a lovely lady. She's just got a lot on her mind.
Well, I don't doubt that, Hank. I'm sure there's something that she's doing her best to hide from everyone.
Like what?
Who knows? But I'll bet it's killing her that I'm trying to find out. Like I said, she thinks she's above the law.
Well, she didn't act like that tonight when she freaked out in that magician's box at the Lobster Shack. Damn it, stuck! Sheridan, hang on, okay? Don't panic. We'll get you out. Being in that box scared the hell out of her.
Yeah, she wasn't her usual high and mighty self. I just wish I knew why she went so crazy.
Well, she's probably claustrophobic and didn't realize how bad it was until she got in the box.
No, if she was claustrophobic, she wouldn't have put herself in a situation like that. I just wish I knew why she said it wasn't my fault and I didn't mean it.
So what are you gonna do? You gonna bring her in and grill her for freaking out?
I may be curious as to why she freaked out, but I hope she never sets foot in here again. I've had my fill of Sheridan Crane.
Well, you're gonna have to deal with her at the youth center. She'll be working with you.
Don't remind me. I still can't believe the judge sentenced her to 100 hours of community service at the youth center knowing that I'm the director.
Well, she might surprise you, Luis. I mean, think about it. You're great in dealing with the boys, and Sheridan might be a big help to you in dealing with the girls.
How can the daughter of a billionaire relate to the girls who come into the youth center?
Because she was a teenager once herself. She'll do a good job. In fact, I wish I could get my niece Kay to come in and talk to her.
About what?
Well, I'm just concerned about what Kay was doing in Miguel's room tonight. Don't you think that was kind of strange?
Yeah, you've been away too long. I mean, sure, your niece Kay is a good girl, but she's always up to some kind of mischief with her friend Simone.
Charity looks dead. I can't believe this is happening. I wonder how Mom's doing and what happened to Aunt Faith.
I haven't seen anyone else come out of the house.
Look at him. Miguel is the bravest boy I've ever known. He's magnificent. He would risk his life to save even a perfect stranger. That's just who he is. It must be killing Mom to see the fire and wondering if her twin sister's inside. That's why I love him so much. That's why I have to have him. Is that all you can think about at a time like this when people's lives are at stake yourself? I'm not thinking about myself. I'm thinking about Miguel.
You cannot! I cannot hear TV!
As you can see, he is quite distraught.
I think Jessica's right. You are only thinking of yourself.
I am not.
Then what did you mean before when you said if Charity and her mother die, then Miguel is yours? Please, please tell me you were not hoping they died just so you could get Miguel.
We were happy to get the young girl out. When our other units arrived, we will search inside the house.
Miguel, what about Faith? Did you see her in there? Is she dead?
I don't know. I didn't see her. I mean, there was so much smoke and beams were falling, it was hard to see anything.
Since she'd gotten out, I know we would have seen her by now.
I'll go back in and look for her.
No, Miguel, it is too dangerous. I mean, thank God for that rain, but the fire's up again.
I have to find Charity's mother.
Miguel, no! Miguel, stop!
So, exactly what kind of mischief is my niece Kay been up to?
Don't worry, it's nothing serious. Just typical teenage stuff.
Well, that covers a long list. Give me an example.
Okay. Mr. Harmony Hunk Contest.
Harmony Hunk?
It was held this summer at the carnival. Kay and Simone claimed it was your sister-in-law Grace's idea. But I have sneaking suspicions that they planned it. It was a way to watch a bunch of guys, including yours truly and my brother Miguel, parade around in swim trunks.
Hey, I'll have to remember that. Maybe I can organize a Miss Harmony contest. It'd be a great way to reintroduce myself back to the local beauty.
I have this feeling that you don't need a contest to do that, Hank.
Man, I can't believe my niece Kay is old enough to be interested in boys. Seems like just yesterday she was all excited about some doll I brought her back from Japan. I mean, look at Teresa and Miguel. It's like your brother and sister and my nieces just seem to spring up overnight.
You've been away a while, Hank.
You know, I remember holding Jessica in my arms when she was only 6 months old. It was the first time I saw her. And then the next time she's riding around on a bicycle with training wheels, and now she and Kay are in high school.
Come on, you've been back in between those times.
Yeah, but it's like they're whole other people every time.
They're good kids.
They've got good parents. You know, my brother Sam really lucked out when he met Grace. She's a good woman. She's got nice kids, a steady job, a nice home. She's got it all. I really envy him.
Someone put something in my coffee? I could swear that I heard Hank Bennett, Mr. Wonderlust, actually say that he was envious of his stable, settled-down brother. I mean, he used to make fun of a life like that.
Maybe I changed my mind.
Now I know I'm hallucinating. You know, for years, the only way we knew where you were or what you were up to was from the occasional postcard from Rio or Singapore or South Africa. Now you're talking about ripping up your passport and staying in a stable life?
You know, I remember my last trip, I was eating in some dive in Algiers, and I got to wondering when was the last time I'd had a meal cooked by someone I knew. Or maybe it was listening to how hung up Miguel was on this new girl of his. You remember when we got to talking about how we might have missed out on finding the right girl?
I remember.
Well, I figured you'd be settled down yourself by now.
Hey, I still got responsibilities. You know, maybe when Miguel and Teresa go off to college.
Well, that's great. That leaves the field wide open for me. You'll be busy working, and I'll be dating up a storm, stealing that perfect woman right from under your nose.
Don't bet on it.
Hey, have we ever gone for the same woman?
Not that I recall. We've always had different tastes in women.
Yeah, you've always liked those sweet little wholesome types. I like my women with an edge. So what do you think would happen if we fell for the same woman?
No contest. I'd win.
Oh, 'cause that Lopez Fitzgerald ego still lives.
Come on, man. The truth is the truth. Besides, I can't picture you settled down with one woman, a few kids, a dog, and a white picket fence.
Why not? I've tried everything else. It might be a goof.
Hank, marriage is more than a goof. It's a serious commitment. Besides, you can't take care of a family. You don't even have a steady job.
You sound just like Sam.
Meaning?
Meaning you worry about the details. You know, life and Lady Luck will provide.
Man, you're in for a big surprise.
Hey, I'm an optimist. You know, besides, who said that I have to provide everything? I could end up with a rich woman.
You'd marry a woman for her money.
This is the dawning of a new millennium, buddy. You know, this isn't the Stone Age where a man's got to run out and kill all the zebras.
How could you live with yourself knowing your wife was paying for everything?
Very well, thank you.
You know, we've had this conversation before, and I think you're all bluff, Bennett.
I'm just more liberated than you.
A man's got to have some pride, Hank.
You want to know what pride will get you? Zip. A man's got to do what a man's got to do.
Well, what exactly have you been up to in your travels around the world?
Relax, Luis. I was just joking.
I'm worried about you, Hank. I'd check you out on the computer, but I'm afraid of what I might find out.
Would you do that, Luis? I went to this 3-day party in Shanghai that I've been dying to remember. I think I had a good time. I met this gorgeous redhead, but I can't remember her name.
Listen, I got enough trouble tracking down criminals and tracking down redheads. Look, I'm gonna go see if I can find anything out about Grace's sister.
You mind if I stick around for a while?
Suit yourself. Just stay out of trouble.
I'll try. Nobody can find out about this. Not Sam, not Luis, and especially not Sheridan.
Hey, what are you doing on the computer?
I'm just trying to access a video game. Do you know how to pull up solitaire?
What are you up to, pal?
Hey, don't worry, Art. He's Chief Bennett's brother. Believe me, he's no master criminal.
Exactly what happened that night, Sheridan?
I don't remember everything. It's all such a distant memory.
But there's more than you told me.
All I know is what I was told. That I was responsible for the body in the coffin.
Do you remember where they sent you the next day?
France. To a little farm with my nanny. Whenever I asked about that night, they told me that It was all in my imagination. Just a nightmare. But it seemed so real.
Yeah, of course it was real.
That's what I thought. But the French doctors, they all had me convinced that it was just a bad dream. I believed that for many years.
Until you came back this time.
Yes. The moment I walked into this house, it all came back to me. It wasn't a dream. I knew it was true, that I was at fault for the death. And then tonight,
What happened that made you sleepwalk?
well, you know, I went out to dinner with Hank. The restaurant that we went to had a magician, and I was stupid enough to get involved in the magic act. Being locked in a box. I felt like I was in a coffin. I just started to panic.
I can understand why.
Well, that's not the worst of it. Luis was there. He saw everything. Well, I was babbling something about it being my fault. He started asking questions.
He doesn't know anything about that night.
No, but I said enough to pique his interest. And Pilar told me that he already questioned her about what could have happened to make me behave the way I did.
Well, she didn't say anything to him, did she?
No.
Yeah, she won't. She may be Luis's mother, but she's worked for the Cranes for years, and she cares for you very much. She'll never tell.
Yeah, she said she wouldn't.
There isn't anybody who's really going to find out what happened that night. The family's hushed it up.
Just wish that I could forget about it. I mean, I've been to therapy, I've been to hypnosis, I've tried everything, and nothing's worked. Ethan, I'm so frightened that that night's gonna haunt me for the rest of my life.
Charity.
There are nights that I wake up screaming.
You can't go on like this. I have an idea. There may be a way to stop these nightmares. Come with me.
Where?
Get dressed. We might be able to get some answers.
As you can see, he's quite distraught. He can only imagine what he must be going through.
Are you completely out of your mind? You actually want Charity and her mother to die?
I never said that. Of course I don't want them to die. I was just saying that if something happened, which it might, well, I was just stating the obvious. Miguel would be free.
Charity, where are you?
Forget Charity. I'm here. I'm gonna give you everything you ever dreamed of.
What were you thinking about now, Kay?
Nothing.
But you weren't hoping that something bad would happen to Charity and your Aunt Faith, no, were you?
Of course not, Simone. I already told you, no.
Look, Miguel's going back into the house.
Miguel, no! Don't do it!
Miguel, stay back. The fire's growing again. It's too dangerous.
Charity's mom's still in there.
But you can't go in there. It's too dangerous.
I have to try.
Oh, come on. Relax, all right?
Okay, we've got to get Charity to the hospital quickly.
Is she breathing?
Barely. She's suffering from smoke inhalation. She's critical, Sam.
Over here! Over here!
Give her some high-flow oxygen, and then we'll transport her.
Is she gonna be all right?
The quicker we get her to the hospital, the better her chances.
I want you to go to the hospital, Steve.
No. Sam, I can't leave my sister. I won't.
No, turn it off. Someone might see the light from outside.
Why are we even here? I'm sure there's nothing in the paper. My father wouldn't have allowed it. I was the great family embarrassment.
Grandfather Alistair would have been able to keep the incident out of the newspapers, but the death had to have been reported to the police. And maybe they kept some kind of record, or maybe the doctor signed the death certificate said something. I'm looking for anything, any kind of clue that might tell us exactly what happened that night.
I'm not sure I want to know. I mean, it's traumatic enough knowing what little I do know. Having details might just make it worse.
Yeah, but it might make it better.
How?
Maybe the truth might be very different from what you remember.
I just don't know if I'm ready for the truth yet, Ethan.
Sheridan, not knowing the truth isn't helping you, is it? So let's see what we can find out. And no matter what we discover, you know I'll stand by you. And no one else will ever know what we find out, okay?
What are you doing?
I was just looking to play some solitaire. What would you do if you found out I was a master criminal?
You? Come on.
No, I mean, if you'd found out I did something and, let's say, the FBI was after me.
Even though you're my friend, I'd have to turn you in.
Wow, that's cold.
It's my job.
Well, I'm glad you weren't a cop that night we decided to pull that Halloween prank on that old coot. You remember that?
Yeah, he chased us with the shotgun, scared us half to death.
Yeah, and Sam and your dad had to come down here and pick us up, and they didn't yell at us for a change?
No, they yelled at the cops for not arresting the old guy. He could have killed us.
Yeah, your dad was always easier on you than Sam was on me. I used to wish I was a part of your family.
Yeah, Sam's all right. I mean, he was tough, but he's fair.
Yeah, I guess. Look, Luis, I know you don't like to talk about this, but have you heard from your dad at all?
No, we haven't heard from him since he disappeared. He went to work that morning at Crane Industries, and no one's heard from him since.
I know it's been hard on your mom.
Yeah. She hasn't given up, hoping that he'll show up one day. I know the Cranes know something, but they won't talk.
So you think the Cranes are still responsible for his disappearance?
Well, I know they have something to do with it. But I can't prove it, and they won't say.
Is that why you're always so eager to go after the Cranes?
Look, what happened with Sheridan and her arrest, and the rest of the run-ins I've had with that family has nothing to do with my father's disappearance. The only one I really blame is my father.
I thought you blamed the Cranes.
Well, I blame them for covering up his disappearance. What kind of man could walk out on his family, knowing that his wife would have to work her fingers to the bone?
Well, you know, it might be hard to understand, but, maybe your dad had good reason.
There's no good reason to desert your family, Hank. Look, when you were asking earlier about marrying a rich woman, were you thinking of someone in particular?
You mean like Sheridan Crane?
Well, look, I know she's rich and you're interested in her. It's not gonna happen, Hank.
So you keep saying?
I mean, for one, old man Alistair Crane wouldn't allow it.
We'll elope.
I'm serious, Hank. You don't want to mess around with that family.
You have more of a problem with the Cranes than I do.
You're asking for trouble, Hank. I mean, besides, you don't want to go out with Sheridan anyway. Remember that night at the restaurant when she freaked out and was screaming that she didn't mean it?
There was some deep, dark secret in her past.
Look, I know I'm right about that.
Look, let's just agree to disagree, okay? And as far as Sheridan's past goes, she's probably just traumatized because she didn't get a pony for her 3rd birthday.
Okay, you can joke all you want. But my gut tells me it's a heck of a lot more serious than that.
Luis, there's been a break-in at the newspaper office. The silent alarm was triggered.
Okay, I'll take care of it.
You mind if I come along?
Be my guest.
If Charity lives, and I'm praying that she will, she'll be forever grateful to Miguel for saving her life. She'll never let him go.
She might try to hang on to him for a while, but Miguel's not the kind of guy who likes clingy females. He'll get tired of that in no time and dump her.
Miguel risked his life to save Charity. You don't risk your life for someone and then dump them.
Okay, Jessica, you don't know anything about anything, so just shut up.
Charity and Miguel are gonna be together forever.
I said shut up!
You guys, go on, kill each other.
Besides, maybe she won't make it.
What did you say?
None of your business.
Hi, guys. The front door is unlocked, and I yelled, but no one answered, so I came on up.
Hi, Reese.
I see you're still watching the fire. I'm gonna go down to the hospital to be with Miguel. Anyone want to come along?
That's a great idea, Ruth. I definitely want to come.
Are you coming, Kay?
Yeah, y'all go on ahead. I'll be there in just a second. We belong together, Miguel. Just like you risked your life to save Charity, I would risk my life for you. There's nothing I would not do to be with you.
Miguel, why don't you ride up front with the driver?
Let me stay with Charity, please. I won't get in the way, Dr. Russell.
All right. But I want to look at you, too. You've inhaled a lot of smoke and you have some cuts.
I'm all right. Come on, Charity, open your eyes. You have to fight. You have to come back to me.
Grace, there's nothing else you can do here. Why don't you go to the hospital with Eve?
No, Sam.
Honey, the firemen will be here any minute. They said they would call us at the hospital if there's any news. You should be with your niece at the hospital.
Poor Faith. If only I'd been here to help her. If only I'd found her sooner.
Come on. I'll take you to the hospital. I doubt if there's anything we can do for your sister Faith. Maybe we can help Charity.
Here we are. This is published the day after the death. Let's see what we can find in here.
Ethan, wait. I'm not sure I want to read about it. I mean, what if it's much worse than I imagined?
Sheridan, have you ever heard the old saying, the truth will set you free?
I've heard it, but I don't know if I believe it.
Look, how much worse can the facts be than what you imagine? But if you're not ready for this, we can just forget about it and leave.
Oh, go ahead. My life is already such a mess. Not gonna get much worse.
Well, you better hang back. I don't know what I'm gonna find in there. Sheridan, someone's in the hallway.
What the hell are you doing in here?
Patient coming through. Clear the space right here. Clear the space. Patient coming through. Dr. Russell, let's get her into 4. Miguel, wait down here with us. Let the doctors take over from you.
She's gonna be all right, isn't she? If she needs blood, I'll give it. She had a cut on her head. She didn't seem to lose much blood. But the smoke's the real problem, right?
That's usually what it is.
She didn't have a lot of burns. That's a good sign, isn't it?
Listen, Dr. Russell and Dr. Kendall are 2 of the very best. They're gonna do everything they can, Miguel.
She was knocked out when a beam hit her on the head.
Let's get a cross-table C-spine, portable chest and head CT.
Draw CBCs in a trauma panel. There may be some internal bleeding.
No obvious fractures.
Eve, what do you think?
It's too soon to tell, Sam. But it doesn't look good.
What Dr. Russell said to you? Did Charity open her eyes? Is she conscious yet?
You can come in now, Hank. I don't think these crooks are dangerous.
Sheridan, what are you doing?
That's a good question. I'll bet you have a good answer. I'll start with you, counselor. You want to give me your story?
I'm sure you've got a good reason for being here, but are you all right? I mean, you look a little pale.
I'm fine. Just a little annoyed that once again Officer Lopez Fitzgerald is in my face.
He's just doing his job. You look like he could use a good night's sleep.
It's been a long night, as you know. Thanks again for taking me for a drive after I got myself involved in that horrible magic act. And for not asking any questions. You're a true gentleman.
In case you've forgotten, Officer Lopez Fitzgerald, my family owns this newspaper.
Oh, I'm aware of that. But if you were here on legitimate newspaper business, why didn't you turn off the silent alarm?
I wasn't aware there was one. It must be new.
Uh-huh. And why didn't you use the overhead lights? And what was so important that you had to come here in the middle of the night instead of coming here tomorrow morning?
I don't have to answer your questions any further, officer. As you can see, there's no burglary in progress. So you can leave now.
Luis, she's not in great shape. Let's go.
Not until I find out what they're really doing here. So, what's so interesting about old newspapers? Counselor, you hiding something in the drawer?
You're out of line, officer.
You know, I hear that a lot from the Crane family. Seeing as there's been no crime committed here, I'll let it go. Come on, Hank.
Good night. Take care of yourself.
Good night. I can't take any more of this.
Charity's still unconscious, but they're doing everything they can.
Okay, thank you. I'm here, Charity. I'm not going anywhere.
Miguel, could you come with me? Dr. Russell wants to check you out.
No, I can't. I'm fine. I'm not going anywhere until I know Charity's out of danger.
Mom? Oh, sweetheart. What's happening? Did they get your sister out?
Sweetie, it's very bad. Charity's in there. They're trying to save her life. But what are you girls doing out here at this hour?
We were watching the fire on TV and we had to come be here with you.
I'm so sorry, Miss Bennett.
We were so worried about you and Aunt Faith and Charity. Miguel, are you all right? We saw you on TV when you ran into that burning house.
You were awesome, Miguel. Are you okay?
I'm fine. It's Charity. She was hit by a falling beam and it knocked her out. She still hasn't come to, and I'm really worried about her.
It's gonna be okay, Miguel. I'll stay with you. I'm not going anywhere.
We're all here for you, Miguel.
Thanks. You guys are such good buddies. Thanks for coming.
It's awfully late for you and Kay to be out.
We had to come, Dad. We were so worried.
Is Charity gonna live, Sam?
It's too soon to tell. I mean, you have to wait for the x-rays and more tests to get back before they can find out what's wrong.
Miguel, you risked your life to save Charity.
I hope I didn't get there too late.
You could have been killed yourself.
I would gladly give my life to save Charity. She's all that matters.
It's getting late. You kids should go home. Come back tomorrow.
I'm not leaving, Chief Bennett. Not until I know Charity's all right.
Maybe you should go home too, sweetheart.
Oh, Sam. All I can think of is why. And I've waited 20 years to find my sister and her daughter. And then they're taken away from me before I even get to know them. I mean, why?
Charity is not gone yet. She's in there right now fighting for her life.
Well, Faith thought something like this was going to happen to Charity. And she lived for her daughter, Sam. Charity has to hang on. We can't let her die.
You all right? You look like you were gonna faint.
Felt like I was gonna faint. The last person I wanted to see here tonight was Luis. I know he's probably even more suspicious of me.
Luis Lopez Fitzgerald was born suspicious. That's why he's a cop. Besides, he doesn't have any reason to be suspicious of anything you do.
He doesn't seem to need a reason.
What? We were looking through some old newspapers. What's he gonna conclude from that?
And what if he looks through the same papers?
He'll find the same thing we found. Nothing. I mean, look. No mention about the death or funeral. Nothing about you going to France or why. It's as if the night never happened.
Wait a minute. I I remember now. It was around the same time that the family bought the newspaper. No doubt to cover up the story of what I did.
Family guards its secrets very carefully. Buying the newspaper is probably the easiest way to do it.
The Crane mentality never ceases to amaze me.
Sheridan would be glad they could keep the story out of the media. And this way, no one will ever find out what happened that night, so just forget about it.
Didn't I tell you that there was something going on with her?
Luis, you're a cop. You've got a suspicious mind. All I saw was a beautiful woman.
Look, Hank, I know you're not a cop, but aren't you a little suspicious of what those two are doing in a newspaper morgue at this hour?
Not really.
Well, I am. And it's my job to follow my nose when I have suspicions. I don't care how rich or powerful the Cranes are. Ethan and Sheridan are covering something up. I want to know what, and I intend to find out.
Simone, I didn't expect to see you here.
Hi, Mom. I wanted to be here for Kay and Miguel.
Of course. You're a good friend.
How's Charity, Dr. Russell? Has she come to yet?
Not yet. We're still doing some more tests.
What's wrong? Why doesn't she wake up?
We'll have to wait until the tests come back.
But you don't know why she's still unconscious?
She has a head injury. But she's breathing on her own. And considering she inhaled all that smoke and fumes, it's a good sign.
Thank God. May I see her? Please.
All right, just for a minute.
Let me go.
Don't get in the way and don't do anything stupid. If Miguel realizes you don't care at all about what happens to Charity...
Of course I care about Charity. She's my cousin. But Miguel comes first. He's my whole life.
Thanks, Chief. I wish I had better news for you.
What did they say?
Oh, the fire's out.
And did they find Faith?
No, it's still too dangerous to go inside.
Charity. It's Miguel. We needed a miracle to be together. And we got one when your mother and Mrs. Bennett found out they were sisters. Don't let that miracle die. Please, Charity. Don't let it die.